Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're unpacking the absolute essentials of court preparation by diving straight into Chapter 2 of the Fundamental Pickleball Foundation Skills. You know, we spend so much time obsessing over that perfect serve or the ultimate dink, but honestly, the most critical part of your entire game happens before your paddle even touches the ball. Seriously, I want you to imagine you're stepping onto the court right now. The sun is shining, the net is set, and your opponent is staring you down. What happens right at this exact second, before you even think about swinging? Well, if your mind immediately jumps to the mechanics of your forehand, you're actually skipping the most vital steps. So today we're going to shift our focus completely away from the paddle swings and look deeply into those critical, game-defining moments before the ball even arrives on your side of the net. Okay, let's take a quick look at our roadmap for today. We're going to cover body conditioning, basic grip techniques, ready position and stances, footwork and court movement, and finally, how to integrate all these skills together seamlessly. All right, starting us off with Section 1, Body Conditioning, Preparing the Machine. Think of your body as a high-performance sports car. You definitely wouldn't hit the racetrack without warming up the engine first, right? Well, here, the emphasis is heavily on movement efficiency. We aren't talking about bulking up at the gym. We're talking about functional fitness. This is the systematic process of preparing your body to perform physical tasks safely while minimizing fatigue and keeping you injury-free. To vividly see why this matters, let's look at a quick comparison from the source material. Imagine two students arriving at the court. Student A walks right on and just starts playing immediately. They're massively risking muscle strains, and trust me, they'll fatigue incredibly early. Student B, on the other hand, spends just 10 minutes doing some light jogging, dynamic stretching, and movement drills. Because of that, student B is going to have vastly better movement control, way greater endurance, and much better consistency overall. The choice is pretty clear. So how do we actually become student B? An effective warm-up has three distinct phases. First up is a general warm-up, like light aerobic activity, just to increase your blood flow and get your heart rate up. Second is dynamic stretching. Now notice I said dynamic, not static. Static stretching is great, but save that for the cool down. Before the game, you want controlled full-range movements like arm circles and leg swings to wake those muscles up. And finally, you move into sport-specific movements, things like shadow swings and side shuffles, to prep your nervous system for the actual game. To put that into perspective, a highly efficient warm-up routine for game day is incredibly simple to structure and only takes about 10 minutes. It's just a few minutes of jogging, followed by targeted shuffles, shadow swings, lunges, and rotations. Performing this correctly prepares your body completely without burning you out before the match even starts. It's literally the ultimate pre-game checklist.
Moving right along to Section 2, Basic Grip Techniques, Connecting to the Tool.
Okay, so you've prepared the machine, but honestly, that means absolutely nothing if your connection to the paddle is flawed. If you aren't sure how to properly hold the paddle, just imagine shaking hands with your doubles partner. Notice how your hand naturally wraps around theirs in a comfortable, relaxed position? Just replace their hand with the paddle handle. That natural hold forms the exact basis of what we call the continental grip. Let's contrast the two main grips highlighted in our source material. First, we have the continental grip, or the handshake. It's highly versatile, absolutely the best choice for beginners, and allows for incredibly quick transitions between forehand and backhand shots without ever having to adjust your hand position. On the flip side is the Western grip, sometimes called the fly swatter. Now, this generates maximum power and topspin because of its closed face, but it is definitely not recommended for beginners. Stick to the handshake to start. It's going to save you from a lot of unnecessary risk stress. But you know, a crucial point here is not just how you hold it, but how tightly you hold it. On a scale of 1 to 10, your grip pressure should really just be a 4 or a 5. Squeezing that paddle too tightly, like an 8 or 9, leads to stiff wrists, slower reactions, and ultimately terrible control. So keep it relaxed. That brings us to Section 3, Ready Position and Stances, Setting the Baseline. Where you stand entirely dictates your reaction time, period. And that introduces our core concept here, the ready position. This is the standard posture you absolutely must assume before the ball is served or returned, preparing your body to explode quickly in any direction. Getting back to this exact position after every single shot is totally mandatory if you want to survive a fast-paced rally. Let's actually build this posture together right now, from the ground up. Visualize this. Set your feet slightly wider than your shoulders. Now, bend your knees just a bit so you feel springy. Shift your weight so it's dynamically balanced on the balls of your feet, not sitting flat on your heels. Lean your upper body slightly forward, staying engaged and alert. Finally, raise that paddle up right in front of your chest.
Boom! You are now a coiled spring, completely ready to react.
From that baseline ready position, the rapid flow of the game is going to force you to morph into specific stances. Your neutral stance is your standard waiting posture. But if you spot an opportunity to attack, you shift into an offensive stance. Weight slightly more forward, paddle held higher. If you're scrambling to return a difficult shot, you drop into a defensive stance, lower your center of gravity, and widen your base. And of course, the serving or receiving stance keeps you balanced and intensely focused behind the baseline.
Let's step into Section 4. Footwork and court movement, navigating the space.
Proper footwork is the crucial bridge between a good stance and a great shot. And the single most fundamental movement on the court is the side shuffle. When you move laterally, you step with one foot and just let the other one follow. But here is the absolutely critical rule. Never, ever cross your feet. Crossing your feet instantly destroys your balance and drastically increases your chances of tripping.
Just to paint a clear picture, let's contrast these movement styles. Efficient movement means keeping those knees bent, staying light on the balls of your feet, and taking controlled steps. This keeps you highly agile and conserves your energy over long rallies. Poor movement, on the other hand, like locking your knees, crossing your feet, running blindly backward, or just standing flat-footed, wastes a ton of energy and practically guarantees you'll be out of position when the ball comes flying back. I want to highlight this exact quote directly from our source text because it really hits the nail on the head. One of the most common mistakes among beginners is watching the ball after hitting it instead of recovering to the ready position. You cannot just hit a great shot and stand there admiring it. The recovery movement is a highly active part of your footwork. Hit and immediately reset. Which leads us nicely into our final segment, Section 5, integrating preparatory skills, putting it all together. Having all these individual tools is great, but they have to connect. The source material uses a really brilliant analogy here. Think of learning pickleball like learning to drive a car. You don't just jump into the driver's seat and mash the gas pedal. You have to start the engine, steer, apply the brake, and accelerate, all in total harmony. These isolated physical skills we've discussed must become automatic muscle memory, working seamlessly together.
So, here is your ultimate actionable 5-step integration sequence, a quick summary checklist for everything we've covered today. 1. Prepare your body with a dynamic warm-up. 2. Establish your handshake grip with a nice, relaxed 4 out of 10 pressure. 3. Assume your balanced ready position. 4. Move efficiently using that side shuffle, making sure you don't cross your feet. And 5. Recover immediately to the ready position after your shot.
And that leaves us with one final, pretty provocative thought to walk away with today. If the fundamentals of this sport dictate that the game is often won or lost before the paddle even meets the ball, are you truly ready for your next match? I really hope this explainer motivates you to completely rethink your pre-game and pre-shot routines. Master this foundation, and I promise you, the winning swings will follow naturally. Thanks for joining me.